Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have an updated favorite Morphe brush video for you guys. I was just kind of going through my makeup today and I realized how many new Morphe brushes or how many other Morphe brushes I love that I didn't talk about in my last video. I did record a favorite Morphe brushes a while ago, but I feel like this is it. These are by far my favorite Morphe brushes to date. I feel like Morphe brushes, they're always coming out with new brushes, and every time I get like a Sephora brush or a MAC brush, I can find something in my Morphe brush collection that's pretty similar, which I really like, for way cheaper. If you guys didn't know about Morphe, I don't know where you guys have been living, because Morphe brushes are the most inexpensive brushes that I own that give me the quality that they do. I'm going to go ahead and go through my eye brushes and my face brushes. I'm not really going in like a favorite order, it's just kind of eyes and face, and I have them all laid out. There's quite a lot, but if you are a freelancer, if you are really into makeup, just anyone who's putting makeup on their face, brushes are everything. You can have a product that is amazing, high quality, it could be inexpensive, but just a really great product, and if you don't have the right brush to apply it, it's not going to come out good. So brushes are everything. I do have a coupon code with Morphe, so thank you for everyone who supports me and uses my code. It's just Rosita. So yes, thank you for using my code. Shout out to you guys. You guys are always holding me down. So let's get started with my favorite Morphe brushes. So first up, we're going to talk about crease brushes. You can have one crease brush, use your bronzer in your crease, and boom, you have the easiest eye look you will ever create. It just creates definition. I love crease work. You guys know I love to blend. So the first brush I want to talk about is part of their gunmetal collection, and this is the Morphe G17. I absolutely love this synthetic brush. It is just so amazing. It has half black, half white bristles. So this is their round blender, and I love synthetic brushes like this for my crease because they're just extra fluffy, extra soft, and I feel like I can really just blend out and buff out that crease color. I love this brush for blowing out my crease, adding a transition color, adding blush to my eye look. So let's just say this eye look, for instance, I wanted to add a little bit of warmth. I'll take a little bit of the blush that I used today. For instance, I used Luminoso by Milani, and I'll use something like this because it's so round and so fluffy, and I'll just lightly diffuse my crease color and add a little bit of pink in between my crease and my eyebrow bone colors. So love this brush, G17. It's one of my favorites. I have probably like 3 of these because it's just that good. The next brush is the E28. This one is part of their Elite collection, and it's kind of similar to the first one, the G17, but this one is a bit more tapered. This brush is only $6.99, and I love how it's synthetic and fluffy but tapered because, again, you can really blow out that crease. I do like this for precise crease work to blend it out, but I can't really lay down that color. Like, I would use something a little more tapered and a little thinner if I want to really cut the crease, but I will use this to blow that out. So this really gets into the socket of the eyeball, and you can really just kind of swirl it in that socket and really blend and diffuse color. So I love this one. This one is very similar to the G17, but it is tapered, so I feel like if you have smaller eyes, well, I would get both because this one's great for that first transition color, and then this one would be great just to kind of diffuse that darker color that you put into the crease. So love these brushes, synthetic, and they're just amazing at blending. My next favorite eye brush is the M511. This one isn't synthetic. This one has goat bristles, which I feel like they do tend to shed a little bit more, but I don't really have crazy shedding with any of these, but I do notice that goat hair bristles, because they are natural, they will shed a little more than a synthetic brush. I love synthetic brushes, and I also love non-synthetic brushes for blending. It really depends. The non-synthetic ones like this one really pack on color, and then I'll use a synthetic brush to really blend it out. So this one, the M511, is also tapered. I really like that dome tapered end because, again, for small eyes, I feel like crease brushes that are tapered are just perfect. You can really just get it into the socket and then just deposit color. So I like this one for depositing my crease color, and I do love the shape of it. So M511, I love this one, and super, super cheap, under $10. Next up, we have the Morphe M504, and this one's a bit larger. I really like this one because it's so large. I actually use this to highlight my nose. This one seems small for a face brush but large for an eye brush, and I feel like that's why I like it, because depending on the size of your features, you can really just use this in two completely different ways. I like this for applying a little bit of color, a little bit of warmth on my eye, just like a light wash of color, again, like a blush or a bronzer, just right over that crease color. Or I like it when it's clean and I use a little bit of highlight on the brush for my nose or above my eyebrow, my cupid's bow, or my chin. Because sometimes a fan brush can be just a little too big for those areas, especially above my eyebrow. I don't want to have highlight on my bronzer, so this brush is perfect because it can get right above the eyebrow or right above the cupid's bow, so it doesn't look like snot coming down from your nose and it doesn't look like you have highlight on your bronzer. So I like this one because it's very versatile and it's not synthetic, it's natural. So I really like this one, and yeah, I'm 504. The next one is also part of their Elite collection. This is the Morphe E14, and I love this one because it is the perfect packing on brush. I say that because it's so dense and synthetic, so it's gonna pack on the color, not for blending, but for packing on. With this kind of brush, I like to literally do packing on motions, and I do kind of like to swipe a little bit if I'm trying to kind of spread that glitter. I like using this with a foiled eyeshadow or a glitter eyeshadow. I feel like this one works well for that. I don't really use this for matte shadows too much unless I'm doing a smoky eye and I'm trying to pack on the black color or the brown color, whatever color I'm using. But I actually use this today when applying the all over cobalt blue shade to my eyes, which is by Makeup Geek, by the way. And I use this brush to just pack it on so that you don't have a lot of fallout. This will really help you have minimal fallout because you are going to be using patting motions, and I recommend tilting your head back and just packing on with this brush. So I really like this one. It's the E14. I also like this when applying my inner corner highlight or my brow bone if I'm going for a larger blown out inner corner highlight, not a detailed small one. So I'll just kind of slap on nylon with this, and it works really nicely because it's so dense and it packs on a punch. So really like this one too. And the next brush is my last eye brush, and this is the Morphe E36, and it's this teeny tiny detail brush, and I love this guy. I guess you can consider this a pencil brush, but I just call it my detailer brush, and I really love this when applying glitter to the inner corner, or if I'm really going for a light or really small brow bone highlight. Like, this gets right in there. I also like this to kind of blend out like a cream product if I feel like I got it too close to something. So let's say I apply my eye base and I feel like I brought it in too low, I'll just kind of blend it out. Because it is synthetic, it blends and blows out product really nicely. And I like this also for small eyes when applying brow bone, because sometimes when you have a pencil brush that's too large and you use it on a small eye, the highlight, especially if you're using a shimmer color, it will get all over the brown and the mattes, and it just looks really messy. So I like this for small eyes, especially for that brow bone, or just really precise detail work. Also works great as a crease brush if you really want to cut that crease. I always find myself using this one underneath the eye as well, just to kind of add a little bit of color, or if I'm doing like a really dark color and I don't want it too low, I'll just bring this underneath. And I find that because it is synthetic, it's a lot softer, and when I am using a brush like this on my clients, I feel like their eyes tend to water less because it's not that scratchy kind of brush. With this, it's not going to pack on as much color underneath, so you do have to layer, but it is really soft, so it's not going to scratch them and it's not going to hurt your eyes. So I really like this one too. Next, let's talk about my favorite face brushes from Morphe. The first one is the Morphe M529. I freaking love this brush to contour. Oh my god. This is one of my favorite contour brushes of all time. I've been using this one every single time I do my makeup. I'll contour with something else and then just find myself missing this brush. I'm like, I need to whip this out and just kind of define my contour a little more. Now, I do love my Zoeva Luxe contour brush. With that one, I feel like I don't need this brush, but when I don't use that brush, let's say it's dirty, this is my go-to guy. It's tapered, so it gets right into the hollow of your cheek, and it just deposits the color so nicely. I love this brush. You guys all need this if you don't have it for contouring. It's amazing. This next brush is the Morphe E46. This one is an angled synthetic brush, and I really love this for applying my under eye highlights, or let's just say I brought my nose contour too wide and I feel like I need a little bit of a lighter color on my nose. This one packs on the color because it is dense and the shape just fits perfectly right underneath the eye. So let's just say I use the Laura Mercier translucent powder underneath my eye, but I feel like I need more coverage. I feel like it's not bright enough, So I'll go ahead and take a pressed powder, like the MAC Hair Blend Powder or MAC MSF, or just any face powder that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. I'll take this brush and I'll pack it on rather than a fluffy brush, because a fluffy brush is going to just kind of disrupt the Laura Mercier powder that we already have, and it's going to look a lot cakier, a lot drier. So this type of brush is going to pack it on, add coverage, not going to disrupt what I have already on. Just looks really good. I also like this for contouring, just the like corners or the edges of my contour. Towards the back, you could take a really dark contour color, get it on there, and then blend with something else. You could use this to contour your nose if your nose, you know, fits this kind of brush. Like, I just love this brush, and I really, really like it for underneath my eyes, and I love the shape of it. Again, it's the E46, and I use it every single time I'm going for a glam, full glam look, because it really packs on that bright color. Like, I used it quite a lot today, and I really like how bright it is underneath my eyes. So love this one. The next brush that I want to talk about is the Morphe E48, and it's also what I use for underneath my eye, but this is the one that I use with the Laura Mercier powder. So this one is a lot fluffier. It's a nice dome tapered brush, and I like this to sweep Laura Mercier brightening powder or the Laura Mercier regular powder or the RCMA powder. I use this brush primarily for dusting or light sweeping, or just a really light-handed loose powder application. I don't really use this with pressed powder. If I want to apply my Laura Mercier powder without baking, this is the brush that I go for. So this is the Morphe E48. Next up, I have the Morphe E53. These all kind of look the same, like the next four that I'm going to show you, because they're part of the Elite collection. So they have this synthetic bristle that is just so soft. You guys have to feel these if you haven't. They just feel like the Marc Jacobs microphone brush that I have. It's just so soft. Like, if you haven't tried them, you seriously have to. They're very comparable to the Sephora Pro brushes. They're the same kind of synthetic feel, and I really love the Elite collection for my face brushes. I feel like all of my favorite face brushes are part of their Elite collection, aside from a couple. But this one, the E53, I love for blush application or bronzer. I love that it's a wider dome, so it really covers a lot. I use this today for my blush. So what I do is I just smile, and then I'll just kind of use the side where it's more of like a paddle shape. It's kind of like a flat dome, and then I just kind of apply, and then I'll switch it and then blend. Really love this for blush and bronzer. I feel like it fits my face perfectly, and it's not too dense where it's going to leave a streaky, really strong, like rouged cheek, but it's also not too fluffy where I'm not really depositing any color. So I feel like it's the perfect hybrid, and I love this guy, E53. Next up, I have the Morphe E4 brush, and this one is an angled version of that brush. Again, Elite collection, synthetic bristles, you get the gist. Really love these face brushes because they're fluffy, they're soft, they're not hard on your face, they won't scratch your face, they will not leave streaks, they don't leave your bronzer and your blush patchy. A lot of times when I use a goat hair for blush, I just feel like it looks scratchy, and because I have dry skin, it just doesn't mix well. So I really like synthetic brushes. This one's the E4. It's nice and angled. I love this also for contouring or like bronzing where I'm supposed to be contouring. Just really getting in that cheekbone if I'm not going for that super sharp look. Love this. Love this for bronzing my temples as well. Sometimes I'll even use this for blush. I just feel like the angled shape really lets you get into the crevices of your face, and I just really like this one. So the E4, I have also like 5 of these because it's just that good. The next two brushes that I love, they're kind of like twins. They're pretty similar. The Morphe E58 and the Morphe E51. So if you look at them from afar, they look pretty identical. One is just a little bit bigger, so the E51 is just slightly larger, but I find that they're the same exact brush. They both have this weird shape where when you first get it, you're like, whoa, my brush came dented, I don't know, it's broken, half the bristles are cut off, but no, it's meant to be shaped like this. So if you look at it from the side, it looks angled, but if you look at it from the front, it's not. It's kind of like an arena shape. I don't know, it's just a really cool shape. It looks like they just chopped off half of the brush, but I love that. I love that I can get into the hollow of my cheek with this really easily, really quickly because of that shape. It just cups and cuffs that cheekbone beautifully, and it just literally shapes your face. You don't have to do much with this one. You can go ahead and bronze, you can go ahead and turn it. Like, I love turning this brush and really getting into those points of the face that you want to bronze and contour. I also love the smaller one, the E58, right underneath my eye, but it is a little large for that. I feel like if I have to, I'll use it, but I like the other one for the under the eye. But you can also use this to pack on something underneath the eye, but it won't be too precise because they are pretty large. But love this one for bronzing as well. A lot of these brushes are for bronzing, you'll notice, because I love to bronze, and I feel like that's the #1 thing that looks patchy: contour and bronzer and blush. And I feel like the key to that is nice, soft, fluffy brushes, because then you will have no patchiness and no roughness and just really nice, effortless blending. Next up, I have the Morphe E2, and I love this one. It looks like a microphone. This is so comparable to the Marc Jacobs bronzer brush because it is so large and because it is so dense and fluffy. It's kind of weird to say that, dense but fluffy. It's soft, but it packs on because there are so many bristles. This is just a type of brush that you just want to like keep on feeling because it's so soft. I love this to bronze up my chest, my neck. I love this for all over powder. If I'm in a rush and I just want to apply powder all over, no foundation, I love this one because it just covers a lot of area really quickly because it is so large and in charge. So I like this one. I don't use it all the time, but I'm happy I have it. I feel like when I do need it though, the E2 comes in handy because it's just so large. You could just bring this one with you in your purse and just like powder up your face. You good to go. Next up, surprise, surprise, it's not a synthetic brush. This one's the Morphe M527. I've talked about this one for sure on my channel. It's a huge dupe for a MAC paddle brush. Can't remember the name, of course, but it's a huge dupe for it because it literally looks like the same brush. It's a nice paddle, goat hair, bristled brush. I love this also for bronzing. I like using this one for my bronzers that have a little shimmer in them because I feel like it just picks it up really nicely. This kind of brush really just dusts it and picks up the bronzer with the shimmer. Something that has a synthetic bristle like this, if I use it with a shimmery bronzer, it doesn't really pick it up. So I like using my real hair brushes for that. And if I want to really bronze up my cheek with like a Milani glowing bronzer or something like that, like the Hourglass bronzer, really nice to just add something on top of your bronzer. It's kind of like a bronzer topper brush, which might seem excessive, but trust me, if you've tried to add a shimmery bronzer with a synthetic brush, you know it just doesn't work out. So try something like this with a goat hair and you will find that this will pick up product a lot better and it will dispense it a lot easier. So again, this is the Morphe M527. And last but not least, probably my favorite brush from Morphe, hands down. I think I have about 6 of these. I'm still looking at the name like I don't know it. Morphe, it's like a habit. This is the Morphe M310, Morphe M310. Love this fan brush. If you guys haven't heard me talk about this fan brush, you guys gotta go watch a couple of my videos because I guarantee you 99% of my Get Ready With Me's, if they're in the last year, they feature this brush. This is one of my favorite brushes to highlight my face ever. This is actually a new one, so it's my baby, but this brush is amazing because it does have that goat hair bristle. It picks up that product that has a lot of shimmer in it, like the Mary Lou-Manizer, which is what I have on right now. This brush picks it up so nicely, where sometimes I use another type of brush and it won't really pick up that glitter and it won't dispense it, or it'll pick it up but it just stays in the brush. I don't know, it's just like trapped in the closet in the brush, I don't know, but this one is just everything. You guys need to trust me on this one. I love it. I love it. Like, it's so good. It's my favorite highlighting brush. And you know, the highlight is in right now. You gotta get yourself a fan brush. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little more highlight. Just because I feel like using this brush. It's just like a habit. Like, look at that. Look at that. Give me the glow. Give me the glow. I also love that it's really thin because it really gets onto that cheek. And you could just fan it out to blend it. And it just really gives you that wham bam highlights. This brush is everything. Probably, well no, definitely is my favorite brush from Morphe, and I need like 100 of them. 6 is just not enough. Hashtag Rosita Tatcha. So that concludes my favorite Morphe brushes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to use my coupon code when checking out. You could also use the coupon code in store in California. I really wish we had a Morphe store here in New York. That would be bomb. Just saying. Before I go, I just want to let you guys know the details. My top is from H&M. The wing liner, the white color, is from Inglot. It's one of their gel liners in white. The blue color on my eyes is Makeup Geek. I will have the name of it down below. And on my lips, I have Pure Hollywood by Anastasia with a little bit of lip balm on top. And my lashes are from Salon Perfect. So that concludes this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Line, like, no. My favorite by far Morphe. Ah!
A favorite. This is by far the best of the Morphe brushes. Or this is official tissue.
No.
Or Morphe brushes. Or nothing at all.
You can have a hot.
Where's the control?
It's on the bed. It's on the bed. On the bed.
What is that brush called?
G17.
Oh, what is it for?
Eye brushes.
What is it for?
Crease brushes. It's a crease brush.
What's that, crease?
The part that I love to blend. That brown part. Okay. Woo! Oh my gosh. This brush is I'm not going for an extreme highlight. No. Okay, we're at the home stretch, guys. So it really fits that.
Oh god, I'm sorry, babe. I was trying to hold it in as much as possible.